This is Masati with Xponential Intelligence. Human potential science is the fastest way to transform your life. And in this episode, I'm going to be talking about what I gained from my two near-death experiences and what it means to you. What is Xponential Intelligence, and how can it transform your life so efficiently and so fast, almost in hyperspeed? And then how does it transform your life, and what's the differences? Okay, because I know there's a lot of modalities out there, but why is XI so different? Why is XI so potent? But first of all, what I gained through the two near-death experiences. Again, I had two near-death experiences, and from that, really started to understand like unprecedented abilities on, say, how reality works, how space-time works, how this consciousness works, and how I apply that to not only affect my life, but then also help you rewire, hundreds of thousands of people across the globe. So really, really excited. So let's see what I gained from the two near-death experiences. Well, the biggest thing is we just don't have time to quite understand, all the things that I've gained. But some of the highlights is that it allows me to see things from a very, very different perspective. So the abilities that I gained, by the way, we all have these abilities. The two near-death experiences have allowed me to, say, transcend or jump up to a much higher level. Much like any other science or, any other potentials, one person does it, right? And then everybody else kind of follows along. It opens up that door, kind of like the 100th monkey experience, right? Where one monkey, say, figures it out, and then hundreds of monkeys, figure it out as well. The same thing here. This allows everybody to understand what it really means, say, to transform your life, what it really means to, say, human potential, what that really means. Because it's not just about making more money or making no money or anything like that. It's not about that. It's understanding how you render yourself here, or how you create yourself here. And I know that sounds kind of strange, but if you understood how you, say, connect to time and space, and I know that sounds strange to you, especially if you're new. It's like, what the hell is this guy talking about? But if you really understand the grander, I'll put it in another way for you. This is where, if you understand, say, present moment time, and not by your watch or not by, your cell phone, but you, and then your grander version, or that limitless self that many people experience. Many people know that grander experience. This is about you connecting to that grander version of who you are, right? That limitless self. So this is what I've gained on that, the technology, or the understanding on how to bring out that limitless version of you. Okay, how do I do that? Well, through the near-death experiences, I've gained abilities, really fantastic abilities that go beyond, say, intuition. So I'm not clairvoyant, clairaudio, or anything like that. I'm not even intuitive, although you might think so. This is a higher level of, say, communication, higher level of understanding. So just to put it briefly, okay, we have five senses. Okay, we have five senses, and those senses are limited. For example, hearing. We have a certain band of frequencies that we can hear, but dogs can hear a lot higher than what we can. Right? Doesn't mean that if we can't hear it, it doesn't exist, right? Because dogs can hear it. Or, birds or bees, they see something very different. They see very different colors than what we do, because they see, another variance or another, say, frequency of visual perception. So through these near-death experiences, it's expanded my sensory abilities beyond. So I just am. Again, intuition is something where you channel. It's something outside of you that comes in. But this is where you just are. You just are of an expansive being. You're using your sensory abilities. Again, the five senses. It almost turns into, say, that sixth sense, where you just know, you just are, you are connected to that higher level of knowledge. So that's the main feature, and I'm going to break it down. So what does that mean to you? Well, I can look at you, whether you're in front of me, whether you're on the phone, whether you're talking about a loved one, I can say sense them, and it's not just looking at you. It's not your auric field, or it's not your energy frequencies, anything like that. It's your underlying core level frequency on how you create yourself here. It's your blueprint of life. I call it your frequency blueprint. Okay, it's very much like your DNA. Okay, but it goes beyond that. What is the consciousness that, say, creates your DNA? Okay? Think of that. Because most scientists now are stuck on, like, well, if we change our DNA through, CRISPR technologies or gene editing and all that stuff, will be good. That's very limiting, okay? But I go way beyond that. I go way beyond that. I get to the point, it's like, well, why is your gene structure like that? Okay, so there's a lot of science behind it. This isn't woo-woo crap. This isn't spirituality or anything like that. These results that I get for people, they're duplicatable, they're tangible, they're magical, but again, there's science behind it. So if you can get to that deep level of consciousness, and I call it a consciousness, which is a body of knowledge that we exist in. Okay, much like a global setting on a computer, right? You have a global setting, and everything within that setting is dictated on how you work within that global setting. It's very simple, although it might sound a little confusing. So again, my abilities is that I can scan you or analyze you and see exactly where, say, your wiring went corrupt. Say that say you come with, you have a neck ache, or you have a headache, or, whatever. Is there underlying frequencies outside of the physical frequencies that is causing your, headache or neck ache, or whatever issue, relationship issues, or, financial issues, or whatever it might be? There's usually an underlying frequency that's causing, say, the experiences of your life. I can hone into that frequency, say, within seconds of, say, meeting you or hearing your name. And not only just hone in and analyze it, but then hone in and help you, say, rewire it. And again, it's fantastic technologies. I don't know all the details, but I know enough, quite a bit actually, through the decade that I've been doing this, to help you or help the masses transform. So what that means to you is that it doesn't take decades for you to transform. For example, you have something, depression, or you had a hard childhood, whatever it might be, and you go through therapy, right? 2 decades, 3 decades of therapy, with maybe 1 or 2 sessions, and these are proven, and it's happened more than once, dozens and hundreds of times, where somebody benefits out of a 10-minute session with me versus, say, 2-3 decades of going through therapy. Okay, so it's not the time frame. Everything gets compressed. You can transform that fast, and people do. Okay, so and it's not and it goes beyond that. This isn't about exponential intelligence. Is not about a band-aid. It's not about, well, I know how you are. Just like psychology, right? Something's happened to you, we'll just create a workaround, or we'll try to talk it out. But that wound, say, is still there for you. This is where you start to, say, heal from that wound from the inside out. This is like complete, say, transformation of you. This isn't a workaround. This isn't like, again, like psychology. This isn't willpower, where you have to go, I'm incomplete, I'm going to make a hell of a lot of money, I'm just going to push my way through and make all that money, and then I'll be good. But how many people do you know that have done that and they're not good? They still have, all the issues that they have. They're still fucked up, their families are messed up, they're all that. Their age, that's another thing. They age like their parents do, right? They get ill like their parents do. It's not true. You don't have to age that way, and it's been proven through the work that I've done. Again, I'm 60 years old. I look younger and more vibrant and healthier than ever before. My blood work comes back. My heart work comes back as, say, a 25-year-old. There's many individuals who age younger than what they do. So this isn't just about throwing more money at you. There's plenty of modalities out there that help you to, create money or create success. This isn't about that. This is about, say, creating a strong foundation. Again, this is about utilizing, say, the grandness or the limitless potential of who you are on the inside. And then those things like psychology or NLP or, willpower, all those things are used properly to get you to your highest level of state. So how does it happen? What is XI? So it might get a little sciencey here, but just hear me out, because it is about science. Again, this is validated proof. There's a lot of, not a lot, but more and more scientific studies being done on my abilities. And again, I want to stress that it's not just my abilities. I'm normal. Okay, but everybody else, is the norm. But you want to be normal, right? And that normal is having, well, unlimited potential. Your abilities to, say, transcend space and time. Your abilities to, say, manifest properly. Your abilities to not destroy yourself or sacrifice or exchange something to benefit for benefit, right? Because that doesn't work at all. Okay. So this exponential intelligence is, say, a body of knowledge that shows you, it's a handbook on how life works. Simple as that. It's a handbook on how life works. If you understand the handbook, your life will automatically become abundant. There's still work, but you automatically become abundant. You're complete, you're happy, you're joyous. You are what I call spherical, you are in spherical abundance. Okay? That means that all aspects of you are abundant. Okay, your internal self, your loved ones, your wealth, your experiential, your experiences around you. Again, they're all abundant for you. It's not just one aspect where you've worked your ass off and then everything else falls apart. It doesn't work that way. Or you commit to a relationship and everything else falls apart. It's not like that. This is all aspects of you become abundant. So that's what that handbook does. So the science behind it is that where we are. So if you can imagine, and again, this is science, okay, it might get a little dry for you, but we need to understand it, is that if you think of Newtonian physics, that science or that physics describes on how this reality works. Newtonian physics, like gravity, electromagnetism, you drop an apple and it falls, right? All the mechanics on how this reality works that we don't think about, but it dictates how we render our life here, right? It's so automatic for you. We don't even think about, how gravity works upon us and all those details, the magic, right? We just assume that it is, right? But again, we're dictated by that, right? We're not going to jump off a roof and go, oh, I'm going to be fine. We obviously know that jumping off a roof is not going to be, say, the most beneficial state for you, right? And then scientists discovered that it's like, wow, there's a lot of things in Newtonian physics that doesn't really work out. Why? So we went deeper. We got more quantum or more microscopic, and then we got into, say, the quantum mechanics or the quantum physics, and that's the underlying structure. It's much like, if you could analyze your life under a microscope, right? You get the bigger version of, say, what your life is. A big problem that you have. But then let's go look at it at a microscopic level, right? And then you go, oh, this is why this is happening. Most people look at the surface level. Okay, we can't do that. Newtonian physics started to look at the surface level, but there was a lot of problems there. There was a lot of problems that couldn't be answered. So we went into, say, quantum mechanics or quantum physics. At that level, we start to look at the minute particles that dictate how the bigger, say, objects of life work. Okay, well, XI goes a lot deeper than that. XI goes into, say, the next level of say, microscopic, say, level on why your life is the way it is, and that's your say, frequency blueprint. Okay, and if you can get to that level, so you have Newtonian physics, you have quantum mechanics or quantum physics, and what I've dubbed like pure physics, and that's where XI is. So XI is a manual on how you create your life here and how you experience your life here. If you can understand, say, the physics of that, just like you understand, say, how gravity works for you, right? You will have an abundant life naturally. How does it transform your life? Well, it transforms your life from the inside out. So if you look at anything else out there, psychology, willpower, neuro-linguistic programming, or anything that prayer, motivation, self-improvement, there's a plethora of things that are out there that we've used, right? And they're all from the inside out. Knowledge, education, exercise, medicines, whatever it might be. Again, it's all from the inside out, right? And it's a slow way to change because your inside is still working the way it is. Your inside is still, say, creating itself the way it is, right? Say if you've been abused or if you run, say, abusive patterns, right? And let's just use that as an example, right? We run abusive patterns. Okay, we've run that as childhood, but probably way before childhood. It goes back into your family lineage. It's not just like you that run an abusive childhood, or luck patterns, whatever it might be. Anything that you're running, right? Again, most likely it goes way beyond into your family lineage, right? So if you look at your life throughout, from a child all the way to right now, and again, let's give it a try. Close your eyes, just take a deep breath in, and look at any pattern that you're running. And I'll guide you into this little deep state. Although we might call it a meditation, it's not. And if you don't believe me, that's okay. Again, just notice where you are. And even if you're listening to this on a recording, you'll still feel, say, those frequencies that I help you generate. So notice your childhood. And I'll help you, say, create that one, say, habit or pattern, or I call it a frequency that dominates or dictates all the frequencies that your life renders. Again, a global setting. Everybody has one frequency that dictates all of their life, no matter what it is. That's just one. You might think, no, my relationships are different. Money is different. Nope, it's not. Look at your relationships. Look at your money habits. Look at your career. Look at how you look at yourself, your kids, your loved ones. Look how you look at, say, a Godhead, however that defines you. Look at the filter that you look at all those, say, parts of your life from. It's the same filter. So no matter what you do, psychology and everything else that's out there, if you don't remove that filter, you might get a different experience in life, but the end result for you is going to be the same. You might have, a bigger home, but the end result is the same. You might have a different relationship, but the end result is the same. You might have a different career, but you, again, are the same. What's the difference? The difference is that XI drills down to that one component that resonates at your cellular level, okay? And it goes beyond. It goes on to your frequency blueprint. So what I'm talking about, that every cell of your being resonates with that frequency. So even the way you create your image here, your health, again, your existence here is dominated or dictated by that one frequency. Okay? Your cells resonate with that one frequency. What Xponential Intelligence does is you take a deep breath in, is allows you to understand and pinpoint that frequency, then helps you eliminate that. Very fast, by the way. I'm not talking decades. I mean, we can pinpoint exactly what's going on within a very short time, especially if you have a one-on-one session with me. We get to the point on what it is, and we start removing or editing those frequencies. And then you can experience or remove all those things, including, say, diseases or issues or relationships or whatever else that has blocked you from becoming, say, completely and naturally, say, abundant. Again, living from your limitless self. As we end, notice what you notice, and then notice the details of what you're noticing, and look for the next episode on where we can go even deeper on how you can transform your life.